All right.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the podcast lab, Vincent.
Thank you very much for the invite.
That's so nice to have you here.
Yes.
How you been?
I've been good actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. It has been a tough couple of months the last month, but we're going back up, so that's good. Very
Tough.
good.
How come?
Yeah, I had back in September we ended up in the hospital with my wife with a very bad panic attack.
Panic.
Oh
my God.
Anxious attack. So yeah, we've been building up everything since then again. So since beginning of September, my wife stopped her job because it was work related. We started our own company. She's been freelancing now. I have some project on the sides as well. So I've done my Ironman. The kids are doing great. So yeah, everything is again.
So
going well.
you're on an incline.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
nice.
So always good things happen when you
Sometimes you need to go down to get back up. This is how it happens. Actually,
Exactly.
One of the things I was curious to have you here is talking about Ironman and what brought you on taking this crazy challenge, in the middle of your life.
Well, it was not the full one, not yet. So it's the 70.3 that I did in Cascais in October.
It's not the full one.
No.
70.3 is not the full one.
No, that's the half one. The
So
full
for-
one. Well, the half one is you start with a 1.9 kilometer swim, then you do a 90 kilometer bike, and then a half marathon in the end.
Okay, so this is altogether 70.3.
Miles.
70 miles.
Yeah, 70.3 miles. That's how they do it. And then the full one is 3.8 swim, then 180 bike, and a full marathon afterwards.
Basically 140.6.
Yeah, miles.
Miles. Sorry, I'm thinking like a European, you know.
Well,
But
me too. I'm like always think like, why do they call it 70.3? So then I did, of course, some Google and
and
makes
why?
sense.
Because of the mileage.
Because of the miles, it's 70.3 exactly. That's the miles that you do.
And it's an American concept, so they use their metric system.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what brought you to take that challenge? You did it already.
Yeah, I did it in October.
This happens every year in October in Cascais, right?
Well, the one in Portugal, yes, because you have like Ironmans over the whole world.
Specifically around here, this is the one that happens close to us.
In October, that's the closest one in Cascais, because you have also in Barcelona, I think, and in Valencia as well. So there are in Spain a couple of ones, and in France, south of France as well. But you have it like everywhere. You have it in America, New Zealand, Africa.
Yeah, Hawaii, they have a big one.
Hawaii, the world Kona. That's the World Championships.
Yeah.
That was last month as well. And this last weekend was the World Championships in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a goal for where I want to.
You really?
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been in New Zealand, but I want to. But I want to do there the World Championships as well. Yeah, that's the perspective for the next coming. Yeah.
So when did you decide you want to do that?
Last year.
So
in October.
So you basically had a full year for practicing.
Yeah.
And how did that?
Well, in the beginning, it was a bit difficult because I started. I was doing before that 2 times training a week, like body training, and then a couple of runs, and then actually a year before the Ironman, I was like looking on the internet, and then I was talking to my coach, and she said like, "I already think about an Ironman because like next week it's in Cascais." I'm like, okay, what? Because I knew the concept, but I didn't know the distances and whatever. So we talked a little bit about it, and I thought, why not?
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
No, for sure. But was she from around here?
Yeah, it's Andrea from Quick Fit here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so you were already in. You were already active. You were already quite shape when you started.
Shape-ish. Yes.
Shape-ish.
Yeah, because I started 2 years ago with my coach then, when I arrived here actually, 2-3 months after I arrived. I was not in the best shape. I was like 7-8 kilos more. I was feeling not very energized. Like at work, it was also not that great. So I just started going there after my wife went there. And slowly I started getting back into shape, like paying attention to what I eat. And then I think, what's the next step? And that's how we came across the Ironman. And it's completely changed my life on all the different aspects, because it's not like I'm going to run 10 kilometers. Okay, for me now, 10 kilometers, that's...
A daily run.
Yeah, I did it this
daily
morning.
run,
I did it before coming here.
Yeah.
But like...
I actually saw on your Instagram you did
exactly.
5 point something paced, which is quite fast. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that later. I now need to slow down a bit. But so like now the 10 kilometers are okay, but because you need to train so much in a week already for the half one, so that's why I'm waiting for the full one with the combination with kids and work and whatever. So
Yeah.
I want to like not go all in, all consumed. I want to go all in, but not all consumed.
So you already sign up for a full one?
Not yet. I'm going to do that in a couple of years. I first want to go for the World Championships of the 70.3.
Okay, so this will be in
2 years maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because I first need to qualify. So I first need to become first, second, or third in my age group.
Oh wow!
On a race.
Okay.
So that's why I need to be a little bit strategic on it, like which race I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because the one in Claeys is very famous. There were like 5,000 people participating this year. So which is
it's super competitive.
It's super competitive because you have like so many people on that are much better than me as well. So I was in the top 20%. So I still have a lot like to win in Claeys. I still have a lot of progress that needs to be made. But it's just an amazing feeling, and it just takes over your life for me in a positive way because I have something to focus on.
Yeah,
I know now like how my body works. I understand, have a ton more energy, even though I'm losing a lot of energy or spending a lot of energy with the exercising. But it's pretty amazing.
That's cool, and that's more than cool. This is amazing. What came to my mind is so I thought about it and doing that before. I never done it.
Let's do it next year together.
maybe. I'm completely frank. I did my longest was 10 kilometers run.
Yeah,
this is my longest run. I did 5 kilometers open water swimming.
That's already a great.
This is a good achievement.
Yeah.
And I never done any cycling whatsoever. I wait for Eden to take me cycling. He's a good cycler.
Well, let's go cycling all together then.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I love cycling, but I never done it like professionally. I don't know nothing about the gear. I just like to cruise around the bicycle, you know. And it's also quite scary to me, to be honest, the bicycle.
Well, to be honest, here in Ericeira, it's pretty like you don't need to be like super good, but you need to be able to read a bit the traffic as well, because everybody here, because the streets are always like super short, like always a lot of corners,
lots of curving.
Like it's dangerous, pretty dangerous to ride here. You really need to ride very defensive. Like if you compare it with Alentejo, because in July I went from here to Badajoz in Spain and back with the bike.
Oh wow!
On 3 days, and there they really like the wait. They ride on the other side of the road to pass you. You have their signs that say take 1.5 meters distance from cyclists.
In Alentejo.
In Alentejo.
Wow.
But there the streets you can, as far as you can look, you see if there are cars coming or trucks or not. So
do you, when you cycle, do you
no, never.
You don't put.
I never exercise with music.
Really? Oh man, that's
because what I really like about all these exercises and these challenges is the mental game.
Yeah. Okay.
And because during the day you're always like distracted, right? We're always on our phones and whatever. Like everybody knows it, right? You get a phone call, you get a WhatsApp, you scroll on Instagram, whatever. But like when I want to cycle, I just want to be with myself and my mind to like process the stuff, right? To process everything.
Kind of like go into meditate state. Yeah. Before we continue, I just want to tell you this crazy story about cycling and how come it's so dangerous and why I have this fear in my head. There's this famous story. It didn't happen in Portugal. It happened actually in Israel. There was an Ironman athlete training in the morning for an Ironman, I guess, for one of the races. 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And apparently what happened is a drunk guy hit him, killed him, and disappeared with the car. And later on, somehow, I think it was a young guy that was driving the car. And it's a very famous story, and you're soon going to understand why. I think a family member realized there was a dent in the car and kind of like, what happened? And do you have to call the police? And then they figure out, and then basically he called the police and confessed. And he was completely wasted. The other guy killed. The other guy on the bicycle killed. And what's the story behind it is that the person who got killed is was the son of the head judge in Israel.
Yeah.
So that young guy got, I don't know how many, but he got like a lot of time in jail for that. A lot. He got, I don't know, like 10 years in jail. And it's a really famous story because because this guy, he wasn't like a criminal. He wasn't have any criminal background. He was just drunk. And he left the guy basically to die on the road. Yeah. He could have been died on the spot. But so I always have this, and I knew this story from close because my boss, back in the day, I was working in a diving and surf school in Israel. Yeah. And my boss was his best friend.
Oh, Jesus.
Because they were together in the military or something. I don't know, something like that. So so he was really, took it really personally, and it was a really big thing. And I always have this story in my head, and I'm super like riding the bicycle on the road freaks me out. Yeah, it's really freaking me out. But on the other hand, you don't have like off-roading way to do it. You have to do it on the road.
Well, or you can buy a machine, a trainer for inside. Yeah. That you can put in your living room or office or whatever. Yeah.
So you can, and then basically you put the bike on something that.
Yeah, well, but now you have from Zwift, and I'm looking into buying probably one of that. Is you have a frame as well from Zwift, and like the trainer. So you don't need to get your real bike, the rear wheel off, put it in, like check everything.
So you don't need to be on the road at all.
Well,
it's recommended.
It's recommended because, of course, you need to have the experience of cycling on the road, right? Because it's still different from cycling inside. Wow. So you have that frame now. It's pretty new. Costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. The trainer is expensive. I know.
Yeah, it's like with the frame, it's like 1,300 euros to get the frame and the trainer. But then you can train inside, but still, like if you go outside, if you then want to do an Ironman or whatever, a cycling event, you need to know how to behave in a group environment as well.
Yeah, because someone is taking over. So
you need to know a little bit the rules. You need to know a little bit you need to know like that guy in front of me, is he like swerving a lot? Because then you don't need to be like
just behind
him because he can like do like this. You need to know it a little bit.
So this is one thing. Running is quite simple in terms of gear.
Yeah,
because you need shoes, you need good shoes, and you just need to know how to run, which is quite basic.
Yeah, but that's indeed the thing. If you go back then to the cycling, if you don't have a bike, it's going to be expensive. Because I had my bike because I'm from Belgium. Everybody in Belgium cycles because it's like flat, right? But that's the most expensive.
This is the most expensive part.
Yeah, because you can buy a bike of 1,000 euros or 500 euros, but you can also go like if you go now to those events, like people have bikes 10, 15k, 20k.
Really?
Yeah.
So
like the new Golf.
What would you recommend for an average bike? Let's start from this. What kind of bike do they use on Ironman? Is there any specification rules? You can use any bike, or
not a mountain bike, but it needs to be a race bike. Well, I guess you can use a mountain bike, but I've never seen it because you need to cycle like 90 or 180 kilometers
per hour.
No. 90 kilometers in total or 180 kilometers in total, so you don't do that on a mountain bike.
Okay,
right?
So you don't do. Why basically? What's the reason you use those bike with the those?
Yeah,
exactly.
The triathlon steering wheel. That's not too many people do that. If you compare, because I paid attention to it, I have those bars on my bike because I don't have like a triathlon bike or whatever. I just have a normal road bike. Wasn't too expensive.
So the steering wheel is like this, right?
Yeah.
So you
just like a racing.
I don't think I ever used something like that.
Yeah, it's just a standard racing bike from the road with indeed the steering wheel that goes like this. But then I bought like a triathlon steering wheel, thing to put on my steering wheel to be able to sit like that, more aerodynamic, and then you can go faster in the end. Yeah.
Okay, so most of the people use road bike. Let's say it like this. And what would be the average price if you take triathlon athletes?
Well, the thing
average. Okay, of course.
Average,
2,000-3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can also go second hand because I've been already looking a bit here as well. Like for those triathlon bikes, you can second hand. You can buy already. Like if you really want to have a triathlon bike, like with those frames and everything, because they differ from the normal racing bikes. Because with the triathlon bike, your saddle is a little bit more to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can, if you sit in that position, you really need it to sit a bit more, because otherwise it's not a very good position to be in.
For your body mainly.
For your body, yeah. But you can change it, or you can play a little bit. So that's why I also did a fitting of my bike to like really fit it the best to my position, to my body. That's why I also never lend my bike to anybody else, because it's like on my position, right? So on second hand, you can already find one for 3,000-4,000 euros. But yeah, I mean, it's what you do, right? Because I follow some people on Instagram and they have like a bike. They did their first Ironman with a bike of 500 euros.
Really?
It's also possible.
Possible.
It's possible. Of course, it's possible.
Okay, so it's possible. Yeah. I'm just kind of trying to figure out. So swimming, not much gear. You need goggles.
The wetsuit is also a bit expensive. Huh? It's like 300-ish euros.
Yeah, but okay, but the sailfish. You use sailfish for swimming, open water swimming.
Yeah, I use the
full body. It's usually it's the brand called Sailfish.
No, I have a Zone 3.
Zone 3, yeah. Okay. So there is Sailfish Zone 3. There is Tier TYR. Yeah. So there's a couple of 300 euros and it's okay
for me. If you compare it to the bike, then the bike
exactly.
Is most expensive.
So but, and also not all the places you would need a wetsuit.
No, it depends on the temperature of the water.
Yeah. So here obviously you would.
Here obviously you need. It's obliged.
Yeah, but so there's the running, which is almost free. Then the swimming, which is you need a couple of $100, and then let's say 1,000 to 2,000 at least for a normal bike.
Yeah, well, but then you still have the outfit because you need to have a helmet, you need to have your shoes, you need to have the clothes. So the biking is really the expensive part.
Well,
that's the thing. I didn't need to invest there because I already had all my gear.
Yeah.
But still, it does cost.
And you had
money.
the experience from cycling.
From cycling,
yeah. And then sort of the swimming came later.
Yeah.
Or you were a swimmer as well.
No. Like in October last year, I could swim 50 meters, and I was like completely. I couldn't do more. I needed to rest a little bit, but that's just with consistency and going every week, 3 times a week, and then now 3 kilometers is easy now.
I understand. So. 70.3 in Cascais.
Yeah,
was a crazy experience.
Yeah, amazing.
How was your body after doing an Ironman?
It was actually pretty okay, but I suffered the most in the running. Okay. A little bit with my right knee and my shoulder. So now we are training more on that. But I took like 4 or 5 days to recover. But actively recover, so I was not just laying in the couch watching movies. So I was going on walks, like maybe do a short run, 5 kilometer-ish, but like super slow, to still get the blood going to your muscles to give them the ability to recover as well, right? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't suffering too much. I thought it was going to be more because I was already putting so much strain on my body for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 months that I was used to it. Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
No.
I have one fear aside from cycling on the road. I have a fear because I feel that my right knee is, every time I climb stairs, for example, I have stairs in my house, so I climb every day.
You have kids, so you need to carry them.
I feel like I have sand.
Yeah.
You know that? You have it?
No, but I can understand. Yeah.
I have like, every time I go up the stairs, I feel like in my right knee. Shoulders are okay, but I as I said, I was swimming a lot, so I do fear of having injury in my shoulders from swimming, but the knees are the most.
With a lot of people.
Yeah, this is the most frightening me. The thing that frightens me the most. And have you consulted like a doctor? Did a checkup, or you just
a couple?
Yeah,
because I had also a little bit of an issue with my knee, But then I went to the sports doctor of Sporting in Lisbon to have like a scan of my knee, and everything was actually okay. It was just a bit over, what do you call it? Not overstimulated.
Overused.
Yeah, a bit overused. So I took a bit slower then on the training. And what I was doing, because first it was my other knee that was hurting a bit, so I had like a brace, but I didn't protect my other knee, my left knee. So my body was like
not balancing,
and it was balancing on the wrong way. So I was putting, because you do it unconsciously, right?
Yeah.
When you're running or whatever that you're doing, you're putting the more stress on your other knee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I just stopped wearing those braces, and I focused more with my coach on developing my core and my upper legs. So that's really important, definitely with men, because women they do it more, but they should do it even more, but they do it more than men if you compare it like nowadays. They train like their body, their legs, their core.
Naturally, their legs are stronger because of giving birth. Yeah,
exactly. Like or they're working on their butt or whatever, because they want to look nice, whatever. Like we don't do that as men, but we need it. Like not more, but we need it as well, and that's why it's so super important. Like to really train this part, and I never train it.
Which you're talking about?
Yeah, the core, like really from on top, above the knee until here, like everything here related.
I don't think you can even. I don't think, because I'm working at the gym in the last year, like trying to get more muscle mass, and I don't think it's possible to only increase the upper body. I don't think it's possible. I don't think your body would react. I mean, biologically, from what I'm noticing, if you do not work on your legs and your core, you would not be able to support your upper body muscle growth. So you'd need to do it holistically. You'd need to do everything always. You cannot, not even from a health point of view. I mean, like if you from what I understand from the research I've done, if you would work only arms and upper body, okay, you would get bigger muscles, but you'll get to a limit that you wouldn't be able to penetrate and go bigger if you would not work on your core, stomach, legs, glutes, all those stuff. You need to do everything holistically.
Yep.
Otherwise, your body wouldn't it wouldn't push those muscles.
What? I haven't read on it like that, but I can imagine, because if you like
obviously you can, because you see tennis players, right? You see one arm, or it happens. You get in balance, but it's only like until a certain
threshold.
Exactly, threshold. Then it stops. Then basically your body telling you, okay, this is too much unbalanced. It's not. We cannot. You need more to work more on your legs. So it's basically you have a threshold. Exactly. This is what I understand, at least.
Yeah, well, but that's what I've been, because my core was like weakest ever. Like my legs my legs were okay-ish from cycling, but there was a little bit of a cushion on top of it, let's say.
Yeah.
So we have been training that in the last 2 years, like immensely.
Yeah.
And then you really see the progress in everything, because in everything that you do, and now because we're talking about the triathlon or the Ironman, for swimming you need to have your core.
Yeah.
Because your core will help you to lift your butt, to lift your legs, and so that you're more aerodynamic in the water. Or more less drag in the water.
If you don't have a strong core, your legs are a little bit like this, and then you're
so you're dragging water and you don't go. So
I have a terrible. This happens to me terribly. I drag my water, and I'm swimming really fast, but I'm really terrible dragging.
Well, then you really need to train this part, and that's why because I don't know anything about that. Well, now I know more, of course, right? Because I've been working on it daily. But before that, I didn't know anything about it, and that's why my coach really supported me super well, because we were like focusing on it. I'm getting stronger at it, because you feel it in the swimming and the running. You need it, because then it covers up. If you have better legs, it will protect your knees. Because that's maybe the knee problem. If you're gonna work on your legs and really like prep them, then your knees are gonna have less the impact of the running.
Yeah.
And then with cycling is the same. If you're sitting like that, if you take it on the core, more like when you're in your aerodynamic position, then your core is going to work better. You're going to be able to pedal better, balancing better. So it's everything is really
But on the other hand, what I noticed is that long distances athletes triathletes or even marathon runners and everything, they cannot really develop like a big physique. I mean, from what I noticed, most of them don't have
the biggest. Well, it's possible,
It's
because
possible?
you have now. It's like the hybrid athletes that is like more and more coming.
Okay.
Like those I don't want to like put somebody in the corner or whatever. It's just a lot of hybrid athletes are now the not the bodybuilders, but they have like a good physique. But now they're starting running as well.
Weightlifting, they lift.
Yeah, and they start running. So you have like. I saw it in the marathon that I did in Aveiro as well in April. I saw it like you have some guys that are really like pumped up, and then they start running a marathon as well.
Yeah,
it's possible, but
it's you are walking on a thin.
Well, the thing is, of course, if you are focusing like what I'm doing now, I will probably never get like buff. But we're working on it because I need to have a bit more muscles for running as well. So that's why I'm training every day now with push-ups, my upper body. Because then I get stronger here, so it will help me in the running to do more like this. So my shoulder probably will hurt less.
Yeah. So your shoulder hurts from running, not from the swimming?
It was from the running.
Really?
In the end, it really started hurting here. But I suffered a lot in the run on the Ironman because I didn't drink enough on the bike. So that's a learning as well. Because my stomach wasn't having all the gels anymore and all the hardcore gluten or the sugar. No, I forgot what I was saying.
I have another question for you. Don't worry about that. Your Instagram handle is Sporting Dad.
Yeah.
What's the fatherhood relation, being a dad, being a father, relating to the whole sports, to the whole sport craziness, to the whole Ironman, and not only from the perspective of you delegating the time or you being a father, but also having the right patient for your kids while doing an Ironman, while maintaining a career. Not only that, but I'm also thinking about, was it a trigger for you to prove something while becoming a father, or it's not connected at all? If you understand my question, if not, I can rephrase it.
I think I understand. So I'll try to answer. If I don't understand it correctly, let me know. I think it's not that I wanted to prove something to somebody or to someone else, but it was more a bit for myself.
Still, it's still proving.
Because in the past I have been, right? Society has a certain pathway for you that you need to follow. Your parents have it, like the influences from friends, whatever, when you were young. So when I grew up, I mostly did the things like get college, get a degree, start a family, get a dog, buy a house, get kids, first find a wife, then get kids, right? So it was always a bit like the path that was chosen for you that I was following. And then this was really something. The only person that could influence that challenge was me. And that's why I really wanted to do it and just go for it. Of course, it has an impact on everything else that you're doing, right? But that was really the main focus. And because I was doing that, it was giving me, in the end, like I said already, more energy to also be more present for my kids. Because what I felt before that, I was living just like the life that was built for me, let's say. It was monotone. You were always doing the same. I was like 29. I had then my 2 kids already. And I was like, okay, is this going to be it? Right? Yeah. So I was like, I was then drinking a bit.
You had your first kid when you were 29?
27.
First kid?
Yeah, I'm at second on 29.
And how old are you now?
32.
Ah, wow. You're still young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So then when I came here and I started this challenge, I really felt sometimes not because I was super tired, because I did a cycle tour of 100 kilometers, whatever. So I am tired, but I had more energy for my kids. Mm-hmm. And in the end, and that's something what I hoped for, but it's really now I start seeing it. You are an inspiration for those kids. Yeah. Because I took now my oldest one, and the next race that I will take my youngest one as well. My oldest one is a boy, 5 years old. I took him to a kids run. I freaking loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How is the kids run going?
It's like 500 meters, like with all small kids that are just running, like before a marathon or before a half marathon. So it's all organized. It's official and everything. So they have their own little track that they're doing.
Give them some sense of what's happening.
They get a medal, so they're like super proud. They get their apple or pear or banana at the end as well. You know, so it's
that's nice.
Like
that's
he wears
nice.
his medal still.
That's nice.
And that's like just having the inspiration because he still talks about it. Like they were there on the Ironman as well. They're still like, I'm gonna run an Ironman, blah blah. Like next year I'm gonna do it as well. So it's just connecting it and
That's nice. I actually had, because when my first daughter, I was always, okay, I'm gonna go back a bit. I was always somewhat involved in sport. I'm a surfer. I'm not a pro surfer or anything, but I surf. I like running. I've been running for many years. Actually, my father was a professional basketball player, but like really high up. He was like
I also played basketball.
Yeah, he was, but he was he was doing what's it called? College in the States.
Yeah.
He was in the national team of Israel.
Oh,
so
nice.
he was really.
That was good. It was.
It was really high bar for me to kind of like high reference and for me to learn from. So I was always around, never took anything too serious, but on the other hand, always active or trying to be. There was some bad years, but more drinking and partying, but like everyone. But
around the 18, 19 years old, right?
Yeah, but even a little bit later, but always somehow connected. So I was doing sport, but when my first daughter was born, we kind of like, it's like a nesting time. We were a lot in the house, taking care of the baby. Me and my wife did it kind of together because we are both freelancers. So we change our schedule around.
That's amazing.
Around the baby. It's amazing on one hand, but on the other hand, I started to take physical challenges. I started swimming a lot. This is how I ended up doing that 5K swim marathon I told you. And I was practicing. I was swimming a lot. I was, trying to be like every day at the pool, do crazy workouts. And looking at it in retrospective, I'm figuring out that it was something for me to prove myself, getting the masculine back, getting the that feeling of I'm a family man, I'm a father, but I'm still, I'm still having it, I can still.
You also want to be an inspiration for your girls, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I can still, be like an athlete. I can still break a threshold. So this was it's because when you first have kids, there is also it's beautiful, but it's also a bit of traumatic. It's a big change in your life,
Yeah.
And you cannot explain it to someone, that never had kids, but it's something that suddenly it's irreversible, and it's taking a whole, basically suddenly the biggest wish that you have when you have, after you having kid, the biggest wish that you have is that you will die before them.
100%.
This is the first.
100%.
So I never thought about it, but before that, you have like other aspiration in life. You want to go surfing. You want to ride whatever waves. You want to. Suddenly, you have a kid. The only thing you want is that I will go before him. This is the biggest. This is the only thing. 100%. Like this is 100% the one thing I want. Then they're all the rest. Everything else is a bonus.
Yeah,
sort
exactly.
Of, exactly. And it's a huge thing in your life. So suddenly, so you want to kind of like make the space for you to, to do something, to be adventurous, to run a marathon.
Well, and it's also because you still need to have like a little bit of me time.
Yeah, you want to.
That's maybe also related to it. I was really bad at it. I was always trying to help or to support my wife, and to support the kids, but in the things that I thought that they needed, right? And then I was always pushing myself back. I was always like, no, you know what? I can handle it. And then, like in the end, your body says also. On a certain point, it's stop. I had lung
pneumonia.
Yeah, I had it then when I was 30 years old. Like normally you have that when you're or young or like old.
No, I had a similar infection in my lungs a couple of years back.
Yeah,
it can happen after you work out. Well, you are with the kids a lot, and you get some
and
germs
I was working
from them.
too much. Then indeed the kids were young. It was just after COVID. Like it was December after the March when it started. So like it was everything together. So that was again like a deep point in our lives then. And then you're just like your body says stop, and then you need to change.
Yeah. You get to a certain low point and you climb up from there.
Then we moved to Portugal.
How would you diagnose with pneumonia? You got like a scan and they see the pneumonia, or it was like because it's not it's difficult.
Well, doctors said it. I had it. Then need to rest, antibiotics for a couple of days. Not working, but then I was still in the mindset of you need to work. Work is the most important thing in your life. So I started working again after 2 days, which was not smart.
You can take. It's a long recovery. It takes a couple of months sometimes.
Exactly.
You can die from pneumonia.
Yeah. So that was intense because my wife had then her first panic attack at the same time. So it was.
You had your young kids.
I had my youngest. I had them both.
Both.
Because then we moved in September. It happened in December, and in September we moved.
You moved here just after COVID?
Yeah.
So 2020? 2021?
22.
2022.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to the future.
Yeah.
Back to the present. So, moving to Portugal, change your life, huh?
Yeah.
And how do you summarize the living here?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's great, huh?
It's amazing. Just I realize we are living here in a community in Ericeira. It's still a little of a bubble. Yeah. I know that. I realize it and we recognize it, but it's just an amazing feeling. Why? Because all the people that are living here, okay, we have local friends, but we also have expat friends. Everybody is here and they have the same mindset.
Yeah,
that's what's amazing. Like, or they moved for their kids, or they moved because of, well, the thing is we talk now most with people with kids, because if you have kids, you surround yourself with parents because they have like the same mindsets.
Yeah, also it's terrible, you know, if you so imagine, I have friends with no kids, you know, but if I'm going with my kids to meet them, like me, my wife, my kids, to meet them, what the kids are doing?
Yeah.
What are the kids are?
Well, they're with you and they want to have your attention, right?
Yeah,
so it's not difficult.
So exactly. And if I'm going to friends that have kids, even if they are not such a good friends, you know, they somehow...
Because there are toys in the house then, or
they
whatever.
play together, even if they fight. But it works out that we can get some adult time, you know? Yeah. So it's impossible almost for... it's crazy. It's impossible for almost, you know, to meet, like, to meet other people with no kids.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Because you live on a different... Not time zone, but you live on different, like, the kids need to eat at 6 because if it's going to be later,
like, then you need to put them to bed. And you know, it's crazy.
But okay, so most of the people we hang out with do have kids, of course. And they all, or most of them moved off, like, for the kids or finding like some better balance in life and work. But they had something happen to them, or not, and then they move because they take action. Because it's all the people that are here are action oriented because they already moved from their home country where they're from, family, friends. They moved to another country.
They changed.
They
made a change. Yeah, they took action.
Yeah, because if that's the biggest difference that I see. If I talk now to people, to you, like from the challenge that I did to with anybody else, like why are we moving? Why are we doing this? Everybody is like, oh yeah, hell yeah. I stopped my corporate job in April. Everybody was like, fuck yeah, just like do it, you'll find your way, whatever. But then if you talk to certain people, whatever, like in the country where I'm from, I was like, wow,
who leaves their job?
Why would you do that? Like, you have so much security, because it was a well-paying job, but still, it was like, I was not feeling it anymore back at the time because responsibilities changed, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just the community and the like-minded people that I really appreciate so much here. Yeah, and my kids are flourishing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone here, it's like there's some melting pot, you know? So yeah, We are in Portugal. Okay, so there is Portuguese here. Whether if all of them like us or not, this is another topic.
That's another discussion.
Yeah, no, I personally love the Portuguese people.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
They're so warm. They're so open. They invite you.
We wouldn't stay here if we wouldn't connect with the Portuguese culture. Absolutely. And I love the language, and I really...
It's difficult language, though.
Difficult, but it's entertaining. It's fun. It's connected. There's lots of Spanish and French, and you can it's like really a gateway to Latin, I would say, you know, if you have some Portuguese. But there is a big expat community, not only here, or in all sorts of... There's a few bubbles around Portugal.
Peniche.
Peniche. There is El Alentejo. There is in Algarve. There is places that expats gravitated towards and created a community of their own. Yeah, and all the expats and those communities basically created their own bubble, you know, and of what they... And everyone have the same aspiration, you know. We want to have work-life balance. We want to have a quality education system around us. We want to have a podcast recording studio that can give us service. So it's all sort of like manifested itself, you know, like, and it's true because you can be from Israel, you can be from Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Ukraine, wherever, the States, America, Canada, everyone brings Brazil, their own bag of things, but they come here and they get rid of a lot of it and they kind of, you know, blend into the new environment if it works. Sometimes it doesn't, they move on.
Then they move on, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it was a really great talking to you. Nice. You have anything to add? I want to keep it like, you know...
there are so many things that you can talk about, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do it again.
Thank you. Cool. No, it was... it's really amazing to talk to you. Let's do a challenge together. I sent one to you. Huh?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what...
The swim run.
Yeah, how much is it? How much is it?
Well, we can choose between distance, but we were looking more at the standard one. I'm going to do it with Eric.
Eric is doing it?
Yeah. We're going to do... It's a half marathon.
Oh, it's big.
And a 4-kilometer swim, but... You don't run it. It's divided. So the longest swim that you do is 1.2 kilometers, and the longest run is, I think, 6. So it's like you run 4 kilometers, then you swim 400 meters, then you run 6 kilometers. Okay. So it's all divided. It's
how you
south
change your clothes all the time?
No, you have the same clothes.
When is the date? When is the date?
13th of April. Still have time.
Okay, it's half a marathon.
If you combine everything, yeah.
So
there is also a shorter one where it's like 16 kilometers run, I think.
Okay.
Or 15.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that. So yeah, it could be interesting. I just want to make sure my knees.
Yeah, of course.
There's nothing I can do with the knee. Because that's it. I mean, I think it's some sort of like I'll try this. I'll try this. Like the beginning of it.
But you can train your legs, because like my coach now trained another woman, Marcella, maybe you know her.
Yeah.
Marcella, she did also a marathon in October. And before that, all the doctor said you will never be able to run long distances, whatever. And my coach trained her as well.
Because of the knees.
Because of the knees, because she has two bad knees. And my coach trained her as well, like really training the muscles, the upper leg muscles, the core fully. And she did a marathon, which is like freaking amazing. Yeah,
I know she did a full marathon. She's really dedicated.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do it, but the thing is, you just need to do it. And there are some other cool swim events as well.
Yeah, swimming is for me it's more achievable. I can do it more easily. I'm not in a great swimming shape, but I would definitely.
You have the muscle memory, yeah. You're a good swimmer, so
I can do it. I was doing mostly sprints, but I can do it. Like I wouldn't mind. Send me if there is like I like that challenge. It's cool. I'm gonna get into that. And if Eric is joining, there might be a cool, because we are working out together as well.
Cool. Yeah.
We are doing the gym together, so it might be a nice thing. And let's see. It's actually
there are a couple of swim events starting in April. Okay. Like you have one in Cascais as well in September then, which is the Swim GP. The same organizer from the Ironman. With my swim coach that I have here in Ericeira, Madeira Swim School, probably we're gonna swim from Pescadores to Lisandro, or from Ribeira to Pescadores, or São Lourenço to Pescadores. So those could be also some
São
challenges.
Lourenço to Pescadores is quite a swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a really good mellow day.
That's summer days. Huh?
Yeah.
But like those type of things, it's just amazing to do, because you see as well like the coast
In a different
from
perspective.
a different perspective.
I
huh?
know.
It's crazy. Like if you're far in Pescadores, if you're far in the sea, and you look back on the beautiful coastline of Ericeira,
it's different. You look at it from a different perspective. You don't really look, you glimpse when you breathe.
Yeah, sometimes you can rest a bit, and then you enjoy the view, because like with the swim school we did last year from Pescadores to Praia do Sul and back. So we go around like Vila Galé, and so it's amazing. If you're there chilling, like you see the big hotel and like all the cliffs, and
it's nice,
amazing.
definitely.
It's really amazing.
Vincent, muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you very much, man. Lovely to be here.